As I mentioned at the top, we have Seth Olale in Kajiado County, Bisil to be specific, where he tells us Raila Odinga, James Orengo, David Murathe are meeting at the home of Francis Atwoli, who's the Kotu Secretary General. We saw yesterday in a report filed by Kennedy Mureithi on NTV Weekend Edition, Raila Odinga playing down these visits. So Seth, are they just meeting to have a cup of tea as friends and maybe lunch, or is there more to this visit?
Well, good afternoon, Olive from Bisil, Kajiado County. What I can assure you is that Ildamat, yeah, the Kotu section is just, correcting me, saying that we're meeting at the famous Ildamat. And like you said, of course, there is a gathering expected here. What I've seen is already Senator James Orengo is already present here. But also to tell us what about today's meeting is all about is the host himself. That is the Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli. And of course, today is a very interesting time in politics because it comes hours after the Jubilee Vice Chair, that is Murathe, stating that, Kenya prepare for Raila Odinga 2022 presidency, terming it like it's time to reward the former Prime Minister for all his sacrifices and efforts in development, and that it will be a Nelson Mandela moment. He's likening 2022 to what happened in South Africa. Maybe you are the host. Actually, you're the host today for this particular gathering, but just tell us more of what is happening in the political atmosphere.
No, actually, sometimes we compare notes on Sundays. It's not a political gathering or anything of that kind, but normally we can have lunch together, discuss issues, political issues, social issues, economic issues. But I have also received a lot of calls because people know, Kenyans know, Murathe is very close to me, he's my friend. He was a close friend of his father, the late, who had a very big wine shop in Nairobi, and very smart guy, the late father of Murathe, and we have maintained that relationship to date. And people have been calling me, trying to ask me, what are your views about Murathe's statement? Mine is to endorse that, because I would tell you what, it is only Raila Odinga who can bring this country together. He has created a big departure from corruption. He has fought for this country. He's now an old person. He will be caring, and he's a man who cannot apply political revenge. He will fight to bring Kenya together. And I didn't imagine that that would come out of our brother Murathe, and I think he has widely consulted. And I want to support and endorse that. Where I come from in Western Kenya, that is a dominant area of Raila Odinga.
Of course, you have endorsed the 2022 Raila presidency. Who else is supporting this bid?
I know so many people will be able to support this. I don't know who will. But this is not to say that others should not be able to come up. We have prominent Kenyans like Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Gideon Moi, Joho from Coast. You can name them. Kenyan can produce a president at any time. But I'm endorsing Murathe's proposal for Raila Odinga being a candidate 2020 because he's a person I see that he's the only man who can bring this country together. And not only that, he has mantle, he has supporters, he has suicidal supporters, that by 10 a.m., whoever will be standing against him or whoever will offer his candidature in that particular position, he must be well prepared, because as I know, by 10 a.m. in the morning, he would have won the seat as a president with the support of our brothers and sisters from Central and other places. And I'm sure he's going to enjoy mammoth support from all over the country.
Is really expected here this afternoon?
No, it's not expected this afternoon because I haven't talked to him for the last 3 days, but it's not expected here today. Today I'm having colleagues, friends, and political advisors. We want also to get briefing on what is happening on in the Senate. We have Senator James Orengo here with us, and we are expecting about 2 to 3 other prominent Kenyans coming.
As I wind up, Makundome, my director, just pardon me and give me this final moment to ask the Kotu Sec Gen. Murathe did state that there is a formation, there is a particular plan to have Raila serving for a one-term presidential term, and then, there's also some arrangement to have a prime minister, two deputies, and it is suggested, according to what he said in that particular interview on KTN yesterday, that the prime minister is going to come from central region, and also the deputy is going to come the two deputies are going to come from Rift Valley and Coast regions. Is that the plan?
I don't, as I've told you always, the time I've told Kenyans that I'm not deeply involved in direct politics. I'm a trade unionist, and that is period. But I know there are going to be a lot of formations, people who are willing to give this moment support, because people are lining up, people are taking up positions. They will be able to take positions in various positions. And that is why you had a couple of days ago, we had a meeting of consultation for us from Western Kenya, that we must have a slot out of the arrangements. And everybody will say so, Eastern will say so, Coast will say so. There are going to be a lot of political formations, movements, alignments and realignments. And ours, once there is a head there, we have Raila Odinga there, His Excellency the President is watching, is the referee, and other people who will be coming in, we know it will be more peaceful and very interesting scenario for Kenyans to see on the political scene of this country.
Finally from me, Kotu Sekjen, of course you've mentioned that you've supporting Raila because of what he stood for this country in terms of fighting for democracy and all other sacrifices. But again, you're being asked, why did you pick Raila in all this political formation? And who is likely to face Raila in 2022?
Let me tell you what I did. Part of the course I did in trade union movement in the US for 3 years. One of it is organizing. Raila is a terrible organizer. When it comes to organizing, to beat him is not easy. Two, he, as I've said, he has suicidal supporters. He's a person who have people there who know him. The way me and the rest in Kanu, we were suicidal supporters of the late President Moi. He has such fanatic supporters, and it's easier for him to bring the country together. Two, as I've said, given his age and the departure he's created, he's not a man who wants wealth. He doesn't want to enrich himself. He's a person who would like to see these countries together. If it will take 5 years and prepare a leader for this country, good. And whatever will happen, that I know he will be able to manage. Or politically, he can bring this country together. He's a man who has earned respect both locally and internationally. He's a man you can sell. He's known in the circles of the African Union, the United Nations, European Union, I can call it NAFTA, everywhere in the world. The United States of America is a man whose name is known everywhere. It's easier for him to bring this country together, to bring back both direct and indirect investors, and to grow our economy and create more employment for Kenyans.
David Murathe did say, even as I wind up, that Raila is going to pave way for a youthful president in 2027. Who is this youthful president being prepared for 2027?
I don't want to talk for James Murathe, but a leader is born. A leader is not made. A leader emerges. So whoever, whether young or whatever type of a person who will emerge after Raila, he's a person Kenyans will rally behind him. Raila just emerged at the age of 14. If you read his history properly, he emerged as a leader, and he's going to end up very well by bringing this country together.
Thank you. And of course, our business is to make sure that everyone in this country gets the latest political news, isn't it? It's happened. Interesting times in politics. Just hours after the Jubilee Vice Chairman Murathe announced and endorsed Raila Odinga for a 2022 presidential bid, you heard it from the Kotu Sekjen also stating that he is supporting this particular campaign. But for more update, of course, we'll be bringing you all as it happens here in Eldat in Kajiado County. Back to you in studio, Olive.